each client is different. So each client has a different wow factor. So it's not about, although I described what I like, it's not really about me.
Hello and welcome to FCI London's podcast. In this episode, I am joined by interior designer Tracey Cooper, the creative force behind Lucia Victoria Interiors. We'll be diving into the design trend she's loving right now, her approach to creating those standout wow factor interiors, and taking a closer look at one of her projects to understand how great design comes to life. Welcome, Tracey. Welcome to the podcast. So, Tracey, you've built Lucia Victoria Interiors into a brand known for elegant wow spaces. What first drew you into interior design, and how has your style evolved over the past 15 years?
Interior design has always been my passion. It's about transforming spaces into something beautiful and meaningful. It's about giving a client a wow factor. So when they walk into their front door, they are happy to be at home. And it's about transforming their personalities and creating their personalities putting their personalities into their home.
Which I think is exceptionally important as well. So obviously you are designing for real people and real spaces. So bringing those personalities in must be quite interesting as well, with you dealing with so many different people and so many different projects as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, everybody has a different style. Everybody obviously lives in a kind of different house. It could be a Georgian house, Victorian house, contemporary home. So each style has to be designed for that home and that person.
I mean, your work feels both, very luxurious and exceptionally personal as well. How do you strike that balance between creating something visually stunning while also still reflecting your client's personality?
Well, luxury is creating a beautiful finish, but again, it's about creating it for the client. It's about having layers, it's about having textures, and like I said again, it's about your personality and how that client lives. That's how a home needs dress.
Sure. And have you ever had quite a difficulty trying to match the two together with certain personalities that might clash with sort of that luxurious?
In previous running 15 years, we did get a client where it has become quite difficult sometimes to try to understand them, because obviously on your first meeting, you have to take in so much information and you have to try and listen to what they like and what they dislike. And then from there, you then have to create something that they're going to like. Most of the time, 95%, I get it correct. But there are the odd times when I've had to go away and do it again. And then I think that in the 0.5% where you said, actually, I can't do this because I really can't get what you want. And you have your first is the point that you have to make that impression on your client and ensure that they believe in you that you can do the project.
Absolutely. And obviously to build that trust with your clients as well is vitally important, to make sure that you can execute what they want, but also what's realistic and what can work. And it's quite a bit of a collaboration, isn't it?
Yeah, interior design isn't just about designing their home. It's about having that connection with one another. It's about trust. I mean, you have to sometimes have their front door key or something like that. So it's a huge responsibility that you have to them, and you do have to prove yourself. But it's all based on trust with one another.
Absolutely agree. Well, let's look a bit at design trends and expert insights. What's one interior design trend you really love right now? And why do you think that's resonating with homeowners? I mean, trends constantly shift and change, but what's one that you're really loving at the moment?
I really love the dual colours. So I love all the rich colours that go with the dark kind of rooms. Obviously, that doesn't suit everybody's taste, but the tactile fabrics, the layering, that is what I like. That's how I would decorate my home. But obviously, everybody is different. So if I can add a little bit of something like that into their home, or make them think outside the box, so they kind of like pastel colours, but then kind of say, well, if you add this dual colour as well, then you see this pop. And and most of the time they're like, wow, didn't realise that would happen, and they're amazed by how it looks.
Yes. I guess also you don't really know what it's going to look like until it's actually there. I mean, it's quite interesting as well that everyone is thinking a little bit outside the box with different colors and color schemes put together than considering that a couple of years ago.
I think it's important that they do think outside the box, otherwise they may as well do it themselves. My job is there to make them and to make them realise, and they do realise what it's kind of going to look like, because you do the mood boards, you do the 3D designs. That's how they can envisage how everything's going to look. Obviously, they don't know the final look through their eyes, but you give them everything that they can have to be able to visualize that.
Sure, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. For someone wanting to incorporate that trend without doing a full redesign, what's one simple practical tip you would give them to bring that trend into without redesigning an entire space?
Well, I always think furnishings are important. So if someone is afraid of colour, then add that colour onto their cushions or the layer of a throw. Don't go crazy on the wallpaper or the paint colour, because you'll hate it after like a couple of years or a year. And it's also about being timeless as well. It's about trying to decorate for someone who will still love their house in 10 years' time, so that they don't have to keep on changing it because they've spent a lot of money.
And something that's going to last, just timelessness and bringing in and incorporating those little aspects. Something as simple as a scatter cushion, just bringing little pops of color into little areas without having to redesign and inspire entire space. Can you walk us through how you approach creating that wow factor in a space?
Well, like I said before, each client is different. So each client has a different wow factor. So it's not about, although I described what I like, it's not really about, each client is different. So each client has a different wow factor. So it's not about, although I described what I like, it's not really about me. I'm designing the client. So it's about me learning, as I said, it's about me learning for the client and knowing what they like. So to create their wow factor. So one hallway, for example, because I always say when you open the front door, with someone standing on the other side, then they look in and they kind of want to go, oh, what's in there? Looks really exciting. So one person may love a statement flooring, where someone else might want something a bit more subtle, but then they've got this amazing mirror on the wall. So it's about focal points each room, which someone I would be drawn to, but I can't really stipulate what is what, because each person is different.
So you use tools like 3D layouts and mood boards. How does that change the client experience in the decision-making process?
Well, if we're having discussions, first of all, as to what they like, I can then go away and provide them with the 3D mood board. So if we're talking about corner sofa, for example, and but they're like, oh, I'm not sure, really, maybe we could have like 2 3-seaters or an armchair or something like that. I can then go away and say, okay, your first thought was maybe a corner sofa, but I personally think that 3-seaters would work better. So you can give them the example of what they kind of were looking at. Then you can say to them, well, actually, this is my idea, this is another version. So then they can have a look and you can move things around, and then they can go, actually, I really like that, I really had that, let's go ahead. So then after that, what you would do is create a mood board with the furnishing pieces that they're going to have in their room, so then they can see exactly what pieces are going to go where. You can put those pieces into the room too, so they can see how they're going to sit. So, for example, you could even have like a console table. You can put the lamps on there, the mirror. You can put the trunks underneath if you wanted to, so they can see exactly how each piece is going to sit into the room. And it's like visual, so everything is visual. It helps them. Any piece of visual information will help the client further realise how the end result is going to look.
Okay, Tracey, let's dive into one of your projects. I mean, can you set the scene for us? What was the brief and what design direction did you take?
Okay, so I walked into the room and realised that the client in front of me needed to have a beautiful bedroom. Their personality screamed it out. The house screamed it out too. So what I did is I went away. I provided him with a CD and a board, and I showed him what I would like to create. I showed him the fabrics and the finishes that he could have, and he was happy to proceed.
It's absolutely stunning. What is your favorite piece that you would say in this bedroom or that you popped in? What was your most favorite piece you put into this room?
The bed. I just love the bed. I kept it neutral as well because, again, I knew the client wasn't going to be decorating in a while, so I didn't want it to kind of lose its trend. And also, if they wanted to sell the house, then it wasn't a palette that people would be afraid of. So,
sure.
they can keep this palette and enjoy it.
Absolutely. I absolutely love those bedside lamps as well. It's got such an interesting texture and architecture as well with it as well. I can see there's quite a bit of texture in that lampshade as well as the bottom stand, and gets that pop of colour, doesn't it?
Yeah. This room wasn't... it was a man and wife, but this was his bedroom. They had separate bedrooms. So, it can be for a man and lady, obviously, a couple, but it also works for the gentleman of the house.
Absolutely. It's open-ended. It can really actually work for anyone, really, something like this. The design's absolutely stunning and beautiful and very elegant as well, exceptionally elegant. It's not bombarded with, I think, too much.
It was all bespoke and made well.
Sure, yes. It's absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. And every single bit of color as well, you match that so beautifully and so perfectly. Okay, so let's just begin to move on to the next one. Okay, do you want to talk us a little bit through this brief that they had for the bathroom?
So again, this is the same house. They've got a Georgian house. They've had the same bathroom for the last 20 odd years. The bath was a huge piece. It had like a canopy over the top of it. As soon as you opened the door, kind of that was all you saw with the cabinet. So we ripped everything out and we modernised it and made it more appealing.
Sure. And the light was gorgeous as well.
Yeah. It's more elegant than it was before, obviously.
It's absolutely stunning. It's just incredible to see what one space could look like before and look like after. And looks like two completely different spaces as well. It's absolutely beautiful. In terms of moving them around. Was there a specific, trend or idea you really wanted to incorporate into this bathroom space?
I think it was more simplicity, to be honest. I think we're quite good at hoarding things sometimes. So I think it's just about simplicity of everything, the window dressing, the bath, the cabinets. And you can see that with the photo because the photo is fussy. The before it's fussy. So you keep minimal, then it gives a more streamlined effect.
Sure. Because you can see as well, it's like there's a lot more space now as well. It feels a lot more harmonious, like you say, as well, keeping it a little bit more simplistic and sleek and elegant. And then that light fixture is just absolutely stunning and gorgeous. It really is quite a feature in this bathroom as well. And just what it's doing, actually, the reflections it's giving up on that ceiling, it's just really ties the bathroom together, in my opinion. It's absolutely stunning. And also I see with the wood finish as well on that basin is just so unique that I with bathrooms that you see today.
Yeah. Well, when you open the door to the bathroom, the first thing you really see is the window. So where that's been dressed, that kind of finishes it dressing off.
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful. All right, let's talk a little bit about this room. This really is that before and after space we're talking about. Can you talk us a little bit through what this was and what sort of design direction you decided to go on and touch on?
Well, the client was unsure if they wanted a round table. Again, this was more for the client to be able to visualize. So the client was unsure if they wanted a round or a long table. So in my eyes, I particularly thought that a round table would work better. So I was able to put into the space a round table again for the client to see. So this is really rather more about visualization rather than anything else.
It's absolutely gorgeous. It really does, but it gives it a whole different feel to it. Feels a lot more luxurious, I find, as well, with the round table. I don't think I can imagine the space now with a table that's a long rectangular table. It's so beautiful. And then talk us a little bit about this space as well. And what did you bring in specifically from a design trend sign that you are loving at the moment?
So again, this was more about how a client wanted to see the space used. They weren't sure if they wanted a plain sofa with like a cream coloured sofa or a coloured. I mean, green is always a beautiful colour anyway. It's one of my best colours, my favourite colours. And I love working with green because you've got the green outside from the windows. So when you have got large windows like that, you do see quite a lot of green. So yeah, I just wanted to show them really what a green sofa, sage green would look like in the room. And this was my way of showing them.
Yeah.
Again, it's about visualization for every client to help them see what each space looks like.
Okay, let's have a look a little bit at this. You can talk us a little bit through what you feel needs to happen within this space. And I see with the wallpaper and the ceiling lighting and the paneling of this dining room with the walls.
Okay, so again, this was a Georgian house. And I knew the client would grade a colour, but I wanted the dining room to be dramatic. So when you walk through the room, somewhere, we class the dining room like when you go into a hotel or you go to a restaurant somewhere, it's never bright. It's always got that kind of feel to it that's dramatic. The lighting is what makes a room, but if it's dramatic and you've got the lighting correct, then it always looks perfect. So I wanted to show that you can add pieces of wallpaper to a wall, but also decorate the table with paneling. The lighting is decorative, and the colour in the mustard is the showstopper. So that was what I was trying to show them.
Sure. It really does say dramatic, even just with the taking of that color as well, as you said, not to be afraid of color and how it can actually work. Like you mentioned as well, in that color, adding the paneling just immediately gives it so much different layers and textures. It just does make it dramatic. It's beautiful. And something
you've got I was going to say, you've got so many different colours in that wallpaper, and that doesn't have to be a large piece of wallpaper on the wall. It can just be a small amount because it is so colourful. But you can take a few colours from there to add into the wall. So we've got the mustard, but in the chairs you could have them as a turquoise, and that will go together because it's 5 colours that kind of come together and they all blend.
Yes. And it all just works. It's everything just is then, as you mentioned as well, is just all the little pops of color that you've got in the furniture that brings out in the wallpaper is just fantastic.
Yeah. But again, if you decided in a couple of years' time you've kind of got a bit bored with the mustard, I mean, normally curtains are bespoke made depending on the window size. But if they were off the shelf, then they could change quite easily.
Sure.
Without making a disturbance to the walls and making it an expensive changeover.
Sure. It's absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Do you like working with a lot of mustard colors? I know you mentioned that you like to work with greens.
I mean, this would be my perfect palette, to be honest. If it was me and I was designing my own room, I would probably put that wallpaper on the ceiling.
Yes.
And then have the dark around it with the mustard, and then probably add a touch of turquoise with the rust colours.
Absolutely gorgeous. And then obviously, again, bringing in that greenery also just makes such a difference within those spaces as well. It just gives something fresh and lively to a space as well. So I love the fact that you've incorporated that. And then those bits and bobs are just pure elegance. And that ceiling light yet again as well. It's just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, but it is about your personality in a room. But if you was to give me a free reign, then I would decorate the house and there would still be bits of their personality in the room that would make them kind of have areas where it always needs a focal point in the room. Always needs a focal point.
It's absolutely stunning. Which room in a house do you enjoy usually the most? I know it's quite an interesting question, but if you walk into a space, what room do you usually get very excited about designing first?
I love doing the bedroom, the master bedroom, but I also love doing a dining room because, like I say, that's where people meet. That's where friends, family come together to eat. And it's about dramatic scenery. It's about, you could have millions of focal points in a dining room. It doesn't have to be just one. It brings that mood into the room where everybody can just relax and enjoy themselves.
There's sort of a little bit of everything and anything that you can put together, I guess, as well. Hey.
Yeah.
So let's look at a little bit of practical design advice. I mean, what's one mistake you see people making when trying to create a luxury look in their homes?
I think it's when they kind of go a bit aged because they're pressed.
True.
They see something, they don't want to take it just in case, so they then decide to go beige. So you walk in and everything's beige. I find leather sofas as well, depending on a Chesterfield, beautiful, but some leather sofas can be rather ugly.
Yeah, it all becomes one-dimensional, doesn't it?
At the end of the day, it's for living. It's not for, it's not a show home. So it's about how you enjoy your home. But no, I think being beige is what I enjoy about my job and going to and changing it.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Otherwise, it's just everything becomes one-dimensional, as you mentioned as well. I mean, leather furniture is also a very, very difficult thing unless it's one bespoke piece. But if everything is that, and I guess that's also why I think luxury means something so different to different people. Or what people think is considered to be luxury as well doesn't always work. And as you mentioned, you're not designing for a showroom. You are designing for a home and for people to live in, obviously being practical that way as well, for what people are going to be comfortable with and what's going to be able to sustain and be timeless later on in life, like you mentioned, not to get over it very quickly and being able to actually live in the space, enjoy the space, for a long period of time. I mean, if someone could invest in just one element to elevate this space, what would you recommend and why?
I think I would add top furnishings. So cushions and throws. Create different textures. So instantly they will change the room and they will change the sofa.
Sure. That's actually a very good piece of advice. Because you can, it's ever changing as well. So if you feel like in a couple of years that you want to change a color, you can just change up.
You can change them if you wish to. Yeah. I try not to say that to my clients because when I leave, it looks perfect. So they don't need to change for each season. But if someone was doing it and wants to make them feel happy, then cushion. I mean, artwork. I love artwork. Artwork is my favourite as well. So artwork is personal. So I can choose it for someone, but it's about what they like rather than what I like.
I guess as well, it needs to speak to everyone, but I do understand what you mean. You want to keep it as the way it is. And if they do swap it out, hopefully to contact you to get some advice as well on that. But I do think, that's quite a good piece of advice to give anyone who's trying to just elevate a room in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. If we're looking at industry perspectives, and future trends, how are you seeing client needs or preferences shift right now, especially in how people are using their homes?
I think people are using fast furniture as such.
Okay.
I think they're now kind of turning to older pieces because they're made so well, and then they're upholstering those, changing those to become pieces that fit into their room. So on TikTok, Instagram, got so many furniture pieces where people are standing down, putting them, adding gold handle, silver handle. And I think it's more about sustainable pieces of furniture rather than quick fixes.
No, but because it's necessary as well. You want something that's going to last. It's going to be that you don't have to constantly swap out as well. I think just also in this climate, in this day and age as well, in terms of looking from just a financial standpoint and sustainability as well. It's something that is going to last, as you said, not something that's just a quick fix. I mean, are there any emerging trends you think will define interiors over the next few years?
I think the bold colours are going to make more of a statement. And like I say, I think you can even have just one bold piece of furniture in a room with a beige room, but that pops out. And I think people are experimenting a bit more, of wanting more than they used to. So I think that everybody is kind of, I think that's strong in a couple of years. But then on the other hand, you still got the home where practically all white and you look absolutely gorgeous still. But if you look at those, they've still got the golds and the creams and the taupes. So they're still using those hotel kind of skills to be able to put those together to make them have them strong colours. So they're just whites and creams. They're still standing strong colours together.
No, I think you're absolutely right with that. And it's quite nice to see people also bringing parts, like you said, parts of their personality into their spaces as well. Let's look at something, just a little bit of a fun, personal few questions that we just want to ask. But if you could redesign any celebrity's home, who would it be and what would you do with it?
Never really thought about it.
Very tricky. It's a little bit of a tricky question, but if there was a celebrity that you would want to take their home, and
you know what, I'd love to decorate a room in Buckingham Palace, I think, because I love Louis XIV furniture. That's my passion. I just love elegance, the scrolls, the detailing, and the gold. So yeah, I would like to do that. Maybe a ballroom or something in Buckingham Palace.
Oh, that'd be gorgeous. I think that would be an amazing piece to be able to do, and just to try and test out the dramatics, as you said, as well as all those little pieces, because there's so much history and texture already there that you can take and rework. That's a good one. What's one design rule you secretly love to break?
I think that obviously you've got all these, I'm going to get told off now, but you've got all these beautiful paints. But what I do like I think for clients, every client's got a budget, but you also always want to bring the most to each client.
Sure.
So, say for example, there's little green paints. They're so expensive, but someone likes that colour. I will tell them that they can get it made up in their style, but the same colour. But then they can afford it. So then they can have the colour that they really want, but their pocket wouldn't allow that to. So it's about helping everybody to achieve what they want to achieve at the end of it.
But again, I guess it comes back down to that, that client designer relationship as well, and everyone on the same page, like you mentioned earlier in the podcast as well, with the trust and the openness and that discussion. And then you can, like you mentioned as well, create a space that works for both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, another little quick few questions. What would you choose for 2026? Curved furniture or straight lines?
Okay. Well, you can't really answer that question because it depends on the house. If I would design a home in their living room, depending on their space, I would say a couple of sofas rather than corner sofa. But sometimes, depending on their layout, it can feel like you're sitting on a bus because you're all in on the line. And again, you have to ask your client who's coming over. Do you have friends over? Do you have Aunt Mabel coming over? Aunt Bob comes over and he's 91. He's not going to want to sit on a corner sofa with me because it's too squashy. He won't be able to get up again. So really, he needs a nice chair. So I can't really answer that question because
everything is going to be client specific.
It depends on the client. I apologize. Yeah.
If we're looking at trends currently, at the moment, let's look at something like a kitchen. Do you think are clients wanting more dining table or kitchen islands?
I think in the kitchen, I think an island's much nicer. I am having that conversation with a client at the moment. They've got an amazing dining table that I gave them a couple of years ago, and now they're changing their house or the layout of their home. They're extending it. So the dining table is going to go out into the bar area. And then the kitchen area, the island, they're going to make bigger. But he doesn't particularly like eating his dinner on an island because he's sitting up high. But yes, I think an island is much tidier and more streamlined. And then the dining table is better in the dining room.
Into the dining room. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think in terms of, would you go minimalist or Art Deco schemes?
Again, I can't really answer that because it depends who you're
Again, on
designing
your client, yes, of course.
But if it was for me, then I would prefer Art Deco.
Okay. I think I can see that as well in some of your signature pieces that you bring in with the Art Deco type of colors as well. We can definitely see that coming through in your work. Also, if you're looking at kitchens, I mean, are people choosing more open storage or closed storage spaces?
Yeah, I think everybody's loving the cupboards where you open and you've got all the storage inside with coffee machine and everything else. So I think it's about clean lines in the kitchen. I think it's about less fuss. So you kind of walk into the kitchen and you just want the clean lines of the island, you want the clean lines of the cupboards. And if you have it remotely made, it's quite nice to have the cupboards so they haven't got that break in the middle. So they're just like a wardrobe door all the way down. Kitchen's about clean lines and no fuss.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned as well, I think it's about being simplistic and streamlined, like you said as well, and especially in a kitchen, everything to be a little bit more, clean and packed away, not too overly scattered, I think. Eh?
Yeah.
And last one as well, if you could give me 3 words to describe your design style, what would it be?
Bold, luxurious, and effortless.
Well, that's lovely. I think that absolutely nails it on the head with that one. Do you have a good project that's coming up at the moment that you're looking forward to?
Yes, I have got projects at the moment, that I'm working on. We've got a house where we're doing the games room at the moment. So we've created a bar area with a media wall and a champagne cabinet. So now I'm looking at the colours to go into that room. It's kind of set on the side of the house, so it's a totally different identity to the rest of the house. And then I've got houses where you're on the main high street and they just want something to look as though interior design has been designed.
Okay.
So they want to spend money on their house. They want it designed. They have no idea. So I'm doing that at the moment. I do houses so people can sell their houses and get the most for them. And also then I've got a client in Saudi Arabia at the moment who wants to Airbnb their home.
Okay.
So I'm getting it ready so they can Airbnb it.
To get that redesigned. That sounds like quite a few great projects coming up as well. Very different, vastly different as well. Quite exciting projects by the sounds of things as well.
But they always are, and that's what's fun about it. Every customer is different. You meet lots of amazing people and you'll want different things.
Absolutely. If there is a young designer listening now, what would a one piece of advice be that you would give them?
I think I would say to them that they should study architecture as well as interior design.
Sure.
Obviously I'm old now, but if I had my time again, I would study architecture as well as interior design. Because then they can go to a home and they can do the whole project.
Sure. I think that's a wonderful.
And they've got more to offer as well. Because interior design is the last thing that you do. So everybody spends their money on designing this amazing house. And then interiors is a final thought. If you could design the house and then you interior design it, you're making more money at the end of the day too.
Absolutely. And I guess also you from the beginning as well could really figure out what that house is going to look like from start to finish, what's going to work from an interior design point as well as an architectural point as well. I think that's an absolutely lovely piece of advice as well. So if there is an opportunity for anyone out there, take this piece of advice as well and consider studying architecture as well as interior design. I think that is a really, really great piece of advice.
Good. And always what you dream as well.
Yes. Absolutely. But Tracey, thank you so much. I mean, it's been a really pleasure to have you on the podcast, and thank you so much for sharing your insights and sharing, bits of your projects as well. It's lovely to see your work and to see the beauty from what you have created. And I really look forward to seeing more of your work showcased on your different various platforms as well. And thank you so much for talking to me today as well and just sharing all of your insights.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much to obviously everyone joining today. Keep listening and keep designing. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to follow us for more conversations with inspiring designers and creatives shaping the industry. We'll see you in the next episode of the FCI London podcast. Have a lovely day further.